you talked about getting 24 months of ore there to kind of feed in the mill. So that's not something which exists today, but you're building up towards this.
That's absolutely correct.
Right?
And from both. So I'm talking, Matt, from a series of open pits in front of us and from our Beta Hunt mine. And our Beta Hunt mine is going to require some more waste development, which we have planned this year. I believe in dollars, I think it's top of my head about $6.5 million of waste development. That's all part of our budget. That's all funded from the operations, right? Okay. It's not coming out of Treasury. In fact, Treasury this year will continue to build up, despite us having a very aggressive year in exploration, waste development, some equipment purchases, some upgrades to the mill, looking at ore sorters. We will continue to build up Treasury.
Right, so you said something last time we spoke, and it was the question was going around, and it's still around to a degree, which is people are saying, so do you keep gold back on good months and then, run it over into the next month if you need to, or is it all goes in as soon as you find it, it's all going in?
Yeah, and our mine plan is what dictates it. Right. It's not about hoarding the gold, it's about how we sequence the mine, and those are really from crosscuts inward, so they're a retreat. Open pit, you end up mining where you're mining, so it's all about our mine planning. We are trying to build our mine plans to reflect what we put out in the guidance. Right. Our mine plans are a reflection of our guidance. So we're doing our best to remain consistent. Consistency is good for us as well, right? Well, it's a lot better for us.
And when you're having conversations about money.
Yeah,
absolutely. And just very quickly on the mill, have you had to spend any more money on it than you imagined? Do you still consider it a good purchase?
Oh, look, the mill was a steal, hands down.
Okay.
Look, I've had 13 mills approximately report to me in the last 2 decades. I built one almost from scratch. Esmeralda, it was a small thing that we had to almost rebuild. This thing here, this Higginsville plant is in great shape. We've spent so far probably about $1.4 million Australian on it. Very, very small amount to make some major upgrades for ourselves. And our mill's gone from a mill availability from about an 86% all the way up to about a 95%. And this is a real reflection on Graham, Cullum, and the team there. These guys, we're doing PMs to the mill now. We're spending the right money on the mill. We're making sure everything gets properly treated in the plant, and it's not neglected. The plant is not neglected. Right. This is the artery, the heart and soul of our company. We've got 2 open pits and an underground mine feeding this plant, and doré coming out of it. We need to make sure that it comes out on a weekly basis.
And one of the reasons you bought it was because you knew that you could reduce the AISC. I know you haven't finished last year's numbers and you're due to announce those towards the end of this quarter, but broadly, have you been able to do what you said, which was look to drive the AISC down towards that 1,000 number? Or do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, so there's no doubt we believe it's happening in 2020. There's no maybe. We will get there.
Right.
We saw when our original numbers, first half of the year was close to $1,300 an ounce, Matt, AISC. Q3 was $1,183, so call it close to $1,200 an ounce, so $100 an ounce reduction. Q4 numbers aren't out yet. Financials are coming out soon, but that trend is certainly continuing like we saw between the first half and Q3. So you'll see it's certainly trending down again in Q4, as we expected. There'll be no surprises. People, I think we were happy. I think once everything's finalized, they're not quite finalized. Things are trending in the right direction where they should be.
Okay, so that says to me that you going through this cost-cutting exercise across the organization. You talked about Graham, overhauling the operational side of things, and you have been elsewhere. So again, you haven't seen or come across any major headaches that you've had to account for.
No, listen, this is mining. We're always going to have headaches, Matt, and there's always surprises. The advantage we have between all our experiences, one way or another, we're going to overcome them. And because it's mining, sometimes you can drill and blast them and you can get through them. So we will go around it, above it, underneath it. We will get through the obstacles we've had to. There's been nothing that's been so bad that we didn't anticipate it. We're very thorough on our risk register, and we mitigate quite a few of the risks. So,
okay. There have been a couple of reports about you guys being looked at as a takeover target in the market. Okay, and I don't necessarily want to, ask you what you think of that, but what do you think of that?
look, I think I would be very naive to think that we're not in some people's or bankers' slide decks. Anybody who's doing what we're doing and has a centralized jurisdiction and unlocked so much value, we would be naive to think that we're not going to be a takeout target. We're not putting ourselves up for sale.
That was the next question.
We're certainly not saying, hey, look, we're up for sale. We believe we're going to drive value for our shareholders, and give us another 6 months to a year, because we will create value in that share price for our shareholders. So all we got to do is continue doing what we said we'd do and continue to deliver.